This is a great example of you using your intuition. How do you train Courtney, your associate, to have that same intuition?
Through osmosis.
Nice.
She rubs her arm too.
I'm gonna go work there for a
I
day.
I let her actually like sometimes I'm like, hey, come in my office. I'm making a phone call. I just want her to hear how I talk to the people on the other end, work through a situation.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you're not going to learn it all in one day. I've been doing this over 30 years.
Welcome to the Small Business Safari, where I help guide you to avoid those traps, pitfalls, and dangers that lurk when navigating the wild world of small business ownership. I'll share those gold nuggets of information and invite guests to help accelerate your ascent to that mountaintop of success. It's a jungle out there, and I want to help you traverse through the levels of owning your own business that can get you bogged down and distract you from hitting your own personal and professional goals. So strap in, adventure team, and let's take a ride through the safari and get you to the mountaintop.
Oh boy, Ellen, we're back in studio getting ready to talk it up. If you're driving in your truck, listen up, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. If you're driving in your car, this is going to be even more fun. Oh wow, why?
Why?
Because we got a lawyer today.
Oh God.
Oh God. All
Okay,
right,
we're in trouble.
let's talk about lawyers for a minute, shall we?
Let's.
Go. So they are amazing.
That's
Said
not
no
the.
one ever.
That's not the.
Said no one ever. Thank you, Lisa. Right? I was
Made
like,
me spit out my.
you
brother.
hear some of these lines of what's going on, and nobody in business ever wants to have to talk to a lawyer because you're probably in trouble or trying to negotiate something, or you're trying to figure out a way to get out of something.
Isn't that primarily because people wait way too long before they talk to their lawyer?
That's probably a good point.
You know,
But
that's what I'm here
But
for.
there's another reason though. Why do I want to talk to them? They're not fun. Even though Troy's a lawyer and now a judge,
He is a judge in
right?
your pocket
And I got a pocket judge, which
in North Carolina.
as an Italian, I'm very happy to have a pocket judge. It's always good to have one in North Carolina. So when I go into North Carolina and
Yeah.
rip it up,
You may have to expand your empire to North Carolina.
I might. You know, that's a great point because there is somebody up there.
That's two good points I've gotten already. Did you hear that?
That doesn't count.
Nice.
I'm
Yes,
just
they
saying,
do.
I'm
That's
just saying,
two
going.
nothing, and we haven't even started.
Man, and we have not even talked about what I've been up to, but which has not been much, really.
Really?
I know.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good. I fried a turkey.
Did you have spaghetti with it?
Of course, always. Doesn't everybody?
No.
What? Every time. I mean, I saw a post on Facebook. What are your go-to sides on Thanksgiving? And of course, people are trying to be cute and do this and do this and do that. And you're like, nobody said spaghetti. I'm like, whoa, huh? Everybody has pasta suka with their turkey, no?
No.
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 All right. How about yours? How was yours?
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had a good old fashioned Southern Thanksgiving with the in-laws. And
All right.
then the
Do you
day
have
after
mac and cheese with a Southern?
they did. And that was the first time my in-laws who moved here from the West Coast, they got invited. And my mother-in-law quite liked the mac and cheese with the turkey. That was good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they hammered the congealed jello, the salad.
Oh.
You know, the green with the fruit bits and stuff.
Every time I hear that one, I just think Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking the cat's in there too.
Ew.
Right? You remember that one? No, she doesn't remember that one. No, okay.
Well,
Well,
the day after we hopped on the plane to Belgium. Did I tell you that?
that's where I thought we were going to go
Mm.
because I hadn't done much. You're like, well, and then next thing you know, you're out there doing Band of Brothers and marching across the Europe.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So I remember telling you last time that we'd gone down to Bastogne with my son,
Right?
and turns out that one of his friends' father lives out in eastern Belgium. Supposedly only spoke French, but really was disappointed we didn't reach out when we went last time. So all these years later, we let him know, and he actually picked us up at the train station, took us to lunch, took us all around Bastogne to places that we wouldn't have known. And they're getting ready for the 80th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. And they know full well that this could be the last time, will be the last time any veterans might be able to make it. So it's pretty special. There were banners up on the building saying, "Thanks, guys." And I mean, those people remember. And my new friend, Eves, I mean, we looked at every monument and he just studied them carefully and very reverentially. And he told me a story that his great grandmother was pregnant during the battle. His grandmother was 7 years old, and the great grandmother hid two GIs in her attic when the Germans were searching for them. And one of the GIs said, "Hey, if the baby you're carrying happens to be a girl, a great name would be Jenny." And he has a great Aunt Jenny as a result of that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So why is this so important? Because last time you educated me and said, "Hey, Band of Brothers," and I'm like, "Oh, that's right." So I have actually splurged and I just binge watched Band of Brothers since our last time we got together,
Did you?
and I finished it off. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Malarkey, you remember him, the one
Right.
who was searching for a pistol. My wife's family is from that part of Oregon. They knew the Malarkey family.
Yeah.
So we had that connection, and it found out at Thanksgiving that Judy's great uncle was taken prisoner in the Battle of the Bulge. He tried to take on a tank with a rifle, lost. They took him prisoner. He finished out the war in a stalag, made friends with the camp guard. They corresponded to the day they died. So
Wow.
there's all these cool stories. So we actually went up the week before. We went up to Toccoa, went to the museum there, got a couple of little mementos and a bottle of this Knob Creek bourbon, and brought it to Eve's, and so it kind of connected the whole thing for him. But
Nice.
he took us up to Jack's Woods, which they call Bois Jacques, where you can still see Easy Company's foxholes.
Yeah.
And then the town of Foy, which they pronounce Foy, which I got goosebumps because it was spitting snow and it was foggy. And we're, 2 weeks away from when that battle commenced. And it looked just like it did in Band of Brothers.
Wow.
And yeah, the hair on my arm stood up.
Wow. It's a great movie. You know what's funny is I am now the president of NARI.
Wow.
Thank you. I was waiting for a little bit. Right. So I had my first board meeting, and for an icebreaker to get the board going, I had everybody pick their favorite movie and their favorite music artist. And I had a few dissenters, and one of them picked Band of Brothers. But I had everybody try to pick who was what, and I played their music that they all put in there. Amazingly eclectic.
Oh, that's fun.
It was 13 different people, 13 different genres. Well, I should say 13. Country was the dominant one, but after that, it got a little crazy. We were everything from Linkin Park to Frank Sinatra.
Interesting.
How about that?
That is
Fun.
a range.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it. Let's go learn some stuff today. Learn me something. Let's go do something. Huh? Let's have some fun.
Let's see if we can get another pocket lawyer.
I know it's always good to have them. I'm going
is.
to work that up
You
there.
can't have enough.
So we have,
You can't have enough.
I need more than just three. I mean, what? So we have Lisa Shippel from,
Lisa Shippel Law.
isn't that, how about that? Again,
Very original.
they back to the lawyers. They have to have their name.
Well, she need to keep it simple for you, obviously.
Right. That's why I did it. So Lisa has started her own practice, and she was introduced to us by two of our former guests. And one, Steve Beecham, who, and then when I found out that she knew Tina McKenna, I was like, oh, then we're totally in. If she can hang with Tina, we know this chick's gonna be a lot of fun.
Those
She's
are
not gonna
two
be your
very
typical
fun
lawyer.
people.
Yeah. So we have Lisa on. Lisa, I wanted you just to tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you got to the point of starting your business, and then we'll talk about that.
Sure. So when I graduated from law school, I moved down to Alpharetta and started working at a firm in Roswell. That was back in '94. Father and son team, they did real estate and estate planning, and I worked with them for 17 years. And then, around '08, '09, the market started to turn a little bit. In 2010, I also got divorced. And by 11, I was just ready to be by myself in everything, which included practice of law. So I just decided if I'm not making money working with other people, then it was a good time for me to start my business, right? It wasn't like I'd be giving anything up financially. I felt like if I had just a couple of clients each month, that I could build something up in the downturn, learn my systems and processes and get it all organized while I had time because business was light. And so in 2011, I started my own firm.
So I think that's fascinating. So first, let's go back to law school. When you go to law school, did you say that's why you went there? Because you wanted to get into real estate and estate planning?
Oh, no, not at all.
Right. What did you want to do?
So I was a news broadcasting major in college, and I decided I didn't want to live in Iowa making $13,000 a year when I graduated. And my dad said, if you want to go to law school, I will help you pay for it. And the market was also horrible in 1991 when I graduated
Yeah.
from college. So I decided, okay, I'll go to school for another 3 years and become a lawyer. And at that time, I thought, I would be a legal correspondent or something like that for NBC or CNN. And I'd wind up in Atlanta doing news broadcasting with a legal side to it.
Nice. So that was the line. I was going to get in so I could get on TV. Love it.
Yeah. And so
Right.
here I am. No.
And here you are. Well, we'll be on YouTube. So that won't, yeah,
It doesn't really.
yeah,
It's not quite the same, but we
she's not
can
feeling
pretend,
it. She's
can't
not
we?
feeling it. So,
Mm.
all right. So you take off, you do the real estate law. You said you just took a chance to start your business. Did you have a plan? Did you like have it all laid out?
No.
Okay.
Yes and no. So I called a few different solo practitioners that I knew and I said, what does it take to start your own law firm, or how did you start your own law firm? And what I learned was that starting a law firm is probably one of the least expensive businesses you can start on your own, because as long as you have a law degree. Because
Well, there is that.
because really all you needed at the time was a computer, your brain, and some liability insurance. And you could pretty much open up a law firm. You could work out of your house. You could do a number of things. And what I did was I just got a small office. I started renting a small office, and I figured if I had 3 or 4 clients a month, I could I don't know. I didn't read any like business. I hope I don't disappoint you, but I didn't read any like business books. I didn't come up with a business plan. I just basically thought of how much I needed to live, and if I could do that each month. And then I came up with the idea that business is like an inverted pyramid. If I started with one client the first month and I did a good job with one client, then hopefully the next month I would have 2 clients. And then from there it would be 4, and then it would keep growing exponentially. And really it has, fortunately for me. And really that was my business plan.
How about that? All right. Well, that's a great podcast. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. No, I hope it didn't disappoint you.
You know,
No,
my mind was,
and podcast.
bless her heart. And
Right.
then, now she's successful.
Oh, hell
Yeah.
successful.
And-
Hella successful. I mean, great. Yeah. I mean, I looked it up. It's a pretty big firm now. So how many people work for you now?
Right now, there's 7 of us. I have one associate, and the rest is admin staff. We do basically our practice is mainly real estate and estate planning, and we do help people start small businesses. So it turns out that our clientele, or our average client, really needs all 3 of those things for the most part. Someone who's buying and selling real estate on the regular also needs LLCs set up for their holdings, also needs a good estate plan where someone understands their assets. And you know, it just fell into place for me, basically because I started learning from 2 different people, one who handled the real estate part of the firm and the other person who handled the estate planning. I learned from 2 gentlemen for a very long time. And I think it's, for me, a great practice because real estate isn't always strong, but estate planning is always steady. So when the real estate isn't booming, there's always something else for us to focus on. And it's what helps keep everything going from day to day in the office.
She's a pretty intuitive business person, wouldn't you say?
I would say she knew a lot more than I did
Yeah.
when I first started. And here I am. I was killing myself building a business plan, talking to many of these mentors. It just comes easy to her. Why is it didn't
I don't know. It's so simple.
It did sound simple. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. I can promise you, my path has not been simple.
Yeah, it's been torturous.
And then, but she did say she had to use her mind in the beginning, so clearly that's the problem.
Well, she had that advantage.
Yeah, I definitely. I was down one there.
Mm.
So that's pretty amazing that you're able to do that and see that those were complementary practices, and you figured out the real estate is a lumpy but transactional, probably a little bit more lucrative. But the estate planning, while maybe a little smaller, is a steady plot and pays the bills.
Correct. Estate planning, it's steady, and I don't. So with my estate planning, I also know what I don't know, and I'm like that in business in general. So in my real estate, you can give me anything, and I know that I know it inside and out with the real estate. Okay, I won't go to court. I don't litigate anything, but I can draft contracts, do commercial, residential, you name it. I can figure it out. Estate planning, I limit myself to the basic estate planning. I don't help people who need special needs trusts. I don't help people with large estates, meaning, 20 million plus. I just stick to the basics in the estate planning because I don't think that you can know everything, everything about everything.
So even in estate planning, there are niches, which
I
is,
think so, yeah.
yeah, I think that's an interesting point as well. I would never would have thought
I
that.
never would have either.
So you found out your niche, you stick into that, stay away from this stuff. Do you refer that away to
I do.
others? And then in turn, probably they refer you back.
Correct. So I do a lot of referral business because I've been in Alpharetta for over 30 years. I know a lot of people, and people call me just even if they need a bankruptcy attorney or a divorce attorney or whatever. I'm a go-to person for a referral. And so I have definitely people who do similar work to me, but they might only do that work, or they only do estate planning, they only do large asset estates, and that's who I send those clients to.
So personal injury, do you really refer to Morgan & Morgan or to
I don't know anyone there.
Yeah, right? Because, I
I
mean,
don't
these
know that
guys,
they know anyone. No, I'm kidding.
right? They don't. Now we're getting at. So again, lawyers, and you start thinking about it, and if wherever you are, actually, I was just out in Los Angeles, and the billboards out there.
Says the man who I really haven't done anything lately.
Well, that was just a little bit of football.
No.
Okay, a lot of football, but the billboards out there. You can't drive a mile, and of course, you can't drive a mile in LA. Ding. Thank you. Because you can't. I mean, it's just so slow. There is a billboard like every, and then I came back to Atlanta, started looking again. I'm like, oh yeah, every one of them.
Yeah, we have a fair amount. You drive down to Florida, it's insane.
Yeah,
I hate those. Oh, Bob got me 700 grand.
Right.
So you know about like personal injury and how it works, right?
no clue.
Okay, so that is
I mean, yes, I know how to get hurt. Trust me.
that's more of a marketing business for attorneys. So the personal injury attorneys firms, they do personal injury, but a lot of what they do, those guys on the billboards, they bring in a lot of business and then they refer it out and they refer for a commission or a piece of the action. It's the one thing that you can get a commission on a referral.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
so that's why they pay the bucks for the billboards, 'cause then they get the calls and then they refer it out and they and because I don't do personal injury, I don't know exactly how it works, right? But it's definitely like, I'll refer this business to you, or we'll be on the case together, and I'll get a fee just for bringing it in to you.
Huh. So now we've learned something about that.
Different revenue stream.
Right. All right. Let's go back to the beginning of the biz. When you got started, you got going, and you talked about exponential growth, which is exactly what I had my business plan was exponential growth.
Well, in
I
a way,
almost-
that is mathematically correct.
Right. 0.1,
Zero,
multiply
zero, zero.
0.1 times 2. 0.1 times 0.1 is,
Yeah.
yeah, very little. All right. So was there ever a point in time where you went, this isn't working, I'm not going to be able to keep this going? Or you always feel like,
I've never
just
had a
rocked it.
problem. It like luckily just happens and it continues to happen. And so now we're
Do you have what it takes to start your own business? Are you tired of the 9-to-5 corporate job and ready to make that leap into entrepreneurship? You need to check out From the Zoo to the Wild, the book by successful entrepreneur Chris Lalomia. This book is a unique perspective on the journey into the wild world of home services and delivering excellence in service while working in customers' homes. Lalomia shares his path to success in this industry, including proven customer relationship strategies, award-winning customer experience processes, and a unique approach to training a team of service technicians to perform at the highest levels. Whether you're a small business trying to scale or a franchise operation, From the Zoo to the Wild will give you the mindset, habits, leadership style, and customer-oriented processes to succeed as a small business owner in the world of home services. So if you're ready to take control of your future, get a copy of From the Zoo to the Wild today, available on Amazon.
I kind of want her to like rub my arm or something like that.
oh,
Thank you.
Hey, this isn't that podcast. No, we're not on that one.
Now just
Again,
look, it's going to happen to me now.
Yeah, all right. Okay. All right. Well, he's got lucky. All right.
So I just one thing about me is that I don't like change. You know, I'm like I read that Who Moved My Cheese like so many years ago.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but okay, you know. So I just like the status quo. I have a lot of the same clients for 25, 30 years now. And I'm never like technically looking to grow or expand my practice because I don't know why. I don't know the answer to
Now you
that
realize
question.
sometimes they move or they die, so
The
you have to
clients.
replace them. Yeah.
I do, but they help me replace themselves, right? Like,
You're killing off for clients. Nice.
I'm just
no,
trying
like
to help her maintain the status quo.
Oh, okay.
honestly, like if I do a real estate transaction and my client is the purchaser, a lot of times later, the person who sold will call me on their next go around. So my clientele just keeps growing a lot of it from just touch from being in my office. But what I was saying is like we're so busy again, and I don't even know how we get that busy, but I'm so thankful for it that we're knocking down a wall and we're taking over
Do you
the
want her to
office
rub,
next
her to
door.
rub your arm too, Chris?
We're going to pause the podcast for a minute. I need to get a rub too because I am not that guy. I am the guy that's absolutely going against the cheese grater with my forehead and my eyebrows are getting ripped off. And I can't, I mean, she's just growing. It just happens. I'm like, and we're ending the podcast now. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. Goodbye. No.
I can't wait to talk to her about how she hires people, and they've probably all stayed with her since day one.
Well, no.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, now
finally
we get to the
oh.
dirty nitty gritty.
Finally, misery loves company, Lisa, please. Yeah.
So my dad used to make fun of me because he'd be like, "You're worse than Trump," because
Oh, are you,
you know, with
you
the "you're fired,"
really?
right? Because I was going through a spell where it was like a revolving door in my office, and I really couldn't get any traction. And thankfully, the first thing I did, I would say, is that I hired my sister-in-law. Yes.
Family.
And you fired her?
Do you
No.
Oh.
hear that? She said something else that goes against
I know.
every
I know.
every wisdom out there. And then I hired my sister-in-law, and things went well.
I don't have a
Oh,
business plan. I
Clearly,
hired family.
not Italian. Yeah.
Well, I have two very successful clients, like ultra successful clients, and they both have their siblings help in their office, okay, and run the business. And what I learned from them was that having someone that always has your back helps
Yeah.
keep
All
things
jokes aside,
straight.
we had Richard Grove on from
Mhm.
he is the entity, Mr. Wall Storage,
The
and
entity.
he said the same thing is that because at the end of the day, they got your back.
Exactly.
You know that you can trust them.
Right. And
And
she's not going to
again,
quit and and just walk out the door.
Yeah, and even if you get mad at each other, it doesn't end it because you're
Yeah.
still related.
yeah.
Right. Right.
All right, so back to the Lucky Horseshoe Club. And now, obviously, she's being very modest because I do know one of the things, and that's how we've met you, is that you do a lot of networking in Alpharetta. You give back to the community. You do a lot. I know you're a Rotarian. Thank you for doing that. I know that's important to you. Is that been what you think has been key as well? You take care of clients, but has the networking helped, or is that just an outlet for you?
So Rotary is not a business organization. It's not where you go to network. It's where you go to give back to the community.
That sounds like a standard disclaimer to me, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, because you're not supposed to join Rotary to grow your business. That should come naturally from being a good person. Okay. So
She said we had two of them. So, Chris, have you ever been in Rotary? The answer is no. Chris, are you a good person? No, that's why my business has not grown naturally. That's why I've had to go out there and advertise the crap out of it. No.
I'm glad you picked up on that because
I
I
did.
didn't really
It was
want
like-
to. I didn't want to have to point it out.
Yeah, I know she's subtle, but she's good at it too.
Mhm.
All right.
I
She has
used
a little
to
Cheshire
be
cat grin going there.
I used to be super active in chamber. Okay. And I was even years ago the chairperson of the Alpharetta Chamber of Commerce. And that's where I would go to network. But again, I wasn't really there to network per se. I was really there to give back to the community as well, to help other people grow their businesses and create this great business community. That was really my goal with it. And now in Rotary, I go there. I really just go there because I enjoy the people and I enjoy doing the good that we do for the community. But in turn, that does come back to you. when
Yeah.
you're
I mean, as you give, you get. I mean,
Mhm.
we've talked about this a lot. And well, I'm saying the president of NARI, it really is a nonprofit and you're giving. And that's the message I gave the leadership team is that we look, you're all volunteering here. I mean, this is, yeah, you hope to get a job out of this. You're in the wrong spot. You're here to give back to the 280 members we have. You're here to support and to help them. And that's the thing. But you'll find that the more you give, the more you get. And
true,
but you've got to have that giving heart first. You can't go into it going, all right, what do I get? Hey,
right?
what do I get? Hey, where's that lead?
Or if I get, then I'll give.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. If I get something, then I'll get. Yeah. You can't have that mindset. So obviously you went into it with the right mindset about doing that and doing business, and so you've grown with the sister-in-law. Still wild to me.
Yeah, so she had a job. Oh, actually, it was during COVID. And she had a job that she didn't like so much. And my brother would always call me and complain about, like, Mary didn't like her job, blah, blah, blah. And with COVID, we were starting to work a little bit more hybrid. Everyone had computers that they could take home with them and bring back to the office. And so Mary doesn't even live in Georgia. She lives in South Carolina. And I was like, well, I think I can train her remotely and have her work for the company. And she did. She started working for the company, doing all the things pretty much that I didn't want to do, like billing and
That is a great hire.
That is an awesome hire.
Yeah.
She's even intuitive in hiring.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
Hired at your
intuition.
weak spots.
Man, she's good at this
Yep.
stuff. All right. So intuition is hard to hard to hard to hard to
You
teach.
can't learn it.
Yeah. So you have it. Clearly,
Yes,
you had it.
100%.
What were your family were they entrepreneurs? Was that
Yes.
okay.
Okay. So that's another thing. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. So I don't like look at my business. Are you okay?
Oh, you can't say that. He's dying. Don't worry about that. We have him on mute. We
Don't
actually
worry, I know a good probate lawyer. Do you have a will? No.
Oh, he's back now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cut him off. I mean, that's enough.
Sorry.
Hey, if you're gonna die, die in your own time.
Uh,
I'm caring. I'm a caring host. Okay, so your family.
so yes. So my grandfathers on both sides. One was a wholesale florist in Manhattan, had his own business. It was a family business with his sister. And my other grandfather had many different businesses. He had a dry cleaning business, a jewelry business, all sorts of crazy businesses. And then my dad, he was a teacher. He was teaching, but he also started a summer camp business. So his camping business has been around since 1972 in New York metro area, and my brother works with him. And so I've just been raised in a family where like no one's ever worked for a corporation.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's great. It's funny you said the grandparents because I attribute my grandparents to giving me the entrepreneurial spirit. My dad opted out of our family business years ago and did the corporate thing, and I watched him and I said, no, I want to be like Grandpa. And my grandmother, which is also wild, had her own business because that did not happen in the 50s and 60s.
Oh yeah.
And so I just looked at them and yes, we always hold our grandparents to the highest esteem. I use that line in our business all the time. I said, don't treat that house like your house. Don't treat that house like your mom's house. You treat that like your grandmother's house. Because if you treat it like grandma's house, you'll be doing things the right way. And so that's amazing. But obviously that's where you picked up some of the intuition. I
Did
think,
you ever
yeah.
work in any other businesses?
Yeah, I was a summer counselor in my dad's business, but not like directly for my dad because my dad, he franchised out the camps after a few years. And so I worked for one of the franchisees
What
as
a
camp
great move.
counselor.
All right, so I just did this, so I got to ask now because we just talked about this. One of the things I did with the team was your leadership in how you run your business. I think, and really being a leader is a nurture nature thing, right? And so I'm on the nurture side, and I think it's three formative moments. And so one of my questions for you would be, what's your first job that you ever had?
My first job, well, besides like babysitting, I I worked as a summer camp counselor at someone else's camp, like as a counselor in training when I was like 13. And then my real first job when I had papers was at McDonald's.
So you did work at
I will
McDonald's.
hire anyone that worked at McDonald's.
Really?
It's so
Because
hard
so what did you learn at McDonald's?
that I really couldn't hack it.
Yeah. Nice.
The drive-through is impossible. It was like before everything was automated. I couldn't hear you. I had to go cook something and then bring it over and package it. And like it wasn't like it was coming off a conveyor or anything back then.
So you learned that. I think the second thing I learned was what was your first supervision job? Your first time you had to actually supervise people. I'm going to ask you too, this, Ellen.
I'm trying to think. I mean, other than I don't even know. Maybe
Okay.
when I started my own business.
Wow. Look
I mean,
at you.
I had assistants in the other law firms, so I guess I supervised them. But I guess after a few years, I had assistants.
And then the last thing I'd ask is who was your best boss ever?
Oh, Don Rollator.
And what made him best?
It was like working for family.
What did he teach you?
He taught me to make sure I return every single phone call before the end of the day. That I should never keep my files on the floor in case there's a flood. I'm just laughing, but it was really just to make sure that my files were present.
That sounds crazy, but I actually, as you know, I also co-host a home show, Alan. And shameless plug. Not even shameless. I'm plugging this thing. So you got to go out there and
You
check it
have
out.
no shame.
I have none. All Four Seasons Home Show. Go check it out. Extra1063.com. I am now the host. And going to be sponsoring soon. So you learned that.
You're the host now?
I'm going to be the sponsoring host. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you're taking over everything. Nary, this.
Nary, Extra 1063 with its incredible 5-mile radius. Yes, I'm taking over the world 5
Media
miles at a
giant.
time. Thank you. Battle of the Bulge. But you learned not to put your files on the floor. And we learned from a guy at the restoration company, don't ever keep cardboard in your basement. So everybody, you just learned something. Don't ever put cardboard in your basement because when a flood happens, it goes to shit. Yeah. I mean, sorry. Don't worry, it's not that podcasting. This isn't family friendly.
It's okay.
Okay. So you learned that. And then, so with all those, what has helped you as you're now leading your firm and doing what you're doing? What do you use today to help lead your firm that you learned from those 3 instances?
Well, I want my employees to feel value, that I value them. I want them to treat our clients with respect and like each client is on an equal playing field, that like every client's important to us, whether they're a pain in the neck or they're really super nice or their thing is easy or hard to deal with, that you want to just be good to everyone who calls the office. And I want to teach the people in my office. I want to teach them to learn more than they knew when they started working for me. I would rather have someone who worked at McDonald's who knows nothing about law come to work for me, as long as they, seem organized and neat and caring and smart enough to do the work. I can train them to work for me as long as they have that drive.
How about that? Ellen, I would ask you those 3,
So-
but this is really Lisa's episode.
It
not
is her
yours.
I'm
episode.
sorry.
We can talk about that next time.
No, we're not going to talk about you. Back to me. I mean, Lisa.
So what do you tend to let people go for?
It takes a lot for me to let you go. I've let an employee go because the
He or
employee was
she?
the employee was not really did not work well with others. But it was a long time. It took
Did
a
not play well
long
with
time
others?
for me to figure that out.
It's funny you say that because I do think that's been one of those things we always talk about this as business owners is that if you talk to a consultant or you bring them in, they always say what? Hire slowly,
Fire
fire
quickly.
quickly. What do we do?
The opposite.
The exact opposite. You know why? Because these consultants probably have never been in my shoes, your shoes on the other side of this. Listen to this.
Yeah, you got a hole to fill and you need to fill it.
You fill that hole because, as Donald Rumsfeld said, in the late 90s, you go to war with the army you've got, and you're trying to get as much as you can in there, and it's hard. And I've heard this from guys, like I'm totally wrong with what I'm saying here. You won't ever see this in a book, but we do. we hire, and we take our shot. And then what do? When they start to fail, we go, you know what? I can coach them up,
Yeah.
right? And I'm compassionate to a point.
I'm a good trainer.
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
see potential in this person, all that stuff.
And so you hold on to them probably
Yeah.
at
Oh, and
least
they've
a
got a
week.
couple of big clients wrapped around, them.
And so you find ways to say, oh, I can keep. Oh, well, there's one redeeming quality, but yet there's 20 sitting in front of you, and it's hard, right? It's hard to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do this.
Well, and the unfortunate thing is all the other employees see what's going on. They see this person needs to go, and they see you not doing anything, and that really challenges
It's a
your
problem.
culture. Yeah.
I hate to say that. That was a good point. Damn it,
Mhm.
but it is.
Extreme.
So I feel your pain because I do the same thing. Is that it is hard to do that.
But now, I look for different things in employees than the normal person, maybe.
Well, they're probably the right things, so let's hear.
Right? Yeah. Everybody is now. Actually, you probably slammed on your brakes, pulled over to the side, and going, what is she
Yeah,
gonna
like
say?
2 weeks from now, there's going to
Because
be this traffic.
I want exponential growth like Lisa. I want to be just like Lisa. All right, go.
So a lot of times it's hard to find a really good full-time employee that can be with you, 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever your hours are every single day of the week. So for me to get good admin staff, I hire people who can flex for me, either 3 days a week or only mornings or work remotely some days. Because if I'm giving them the flexibility that they need in their life, then when they're with me, they're on and they're giving 200%.
Wow, that is counterintuitive, but you know what? This is why I have a cheese grater and eyebrows, and she has just floated through making business happen. All right, so that's a good one. Admin. What about lawyers?
So I need another one.
Okay.
I'm looking for an attorney right now, and that's hard to find. I have one associate that I hired. She's been with me for 3 years, and I hired her out of law school. And what I told her is like her first year, she's going to learn more in 1 year with me than she did in 3 years of law school if she just lets me teach her. And I would say in my office, she got to learn more than anyone she went to law school with.
That's fuck it. That's ballsy. I love that. I'm like, come on. I love it. Hey, baby, you come work with me. You're gonna learn more. You know what? But you did, and she did.
She
And that-
did. She's amazing
You know what?
now.
I believe it though.
Would you
She's
hire
super-
another one right out of law school?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. As long as they have the drive to or the ambition to learn, like as long as they want to be a sponge,
There's the big thing. So they want to be a sponge. So you're looking for that.
Well, I'm looking for someone who isn't lazy, right? Aren't we all?
All right. Now I mean, come on. Okay. Thank you, Captain Obvious. So am I, but I clearly am blowing it because I take the crowbar to my head every freaking day. Coo, coo, coo. So you pick that up. All right. So, but when you're there, obviously she stayed with you now for 3 years.
Uh-huh. Oh, I want her to be with me until I retire.
And she can take over the firm?
Yeah, sure.
Does she know that?
Yes.
Why would you tell her that? Oh, shit. Now I'm figuring it out. Damn it. Because I tell
You have so much to learn. You could learn more with her in one podcast than the last
You know what?
16 years.
In
that-
fact,
of
Lisa, you should
cheese
just like me.
grating.
You can learn more from me in 15 minutes than you have their entire life. And I would go,
Listen to this one podcast.
that's it. This is the podcast. So listen to everybody. Listen to this one. You know what? We're into this thing 30 minutes or so. And if you're still sticking here, you're about to learn a lot. How has Lisa figured this thing out? I don't know.
I don't know
Just
either.
lucky.
No, she's
Really
not
just
just lucky. No, obviously. So you have a work ethic to you as well. And you know
I
that.
do. I've
Yeah.
always worked hard, maybe a little too hard. I'm trying to kick it back a little bit, but I need more people to be able to kick back on my own a little bit.
So how do you go find a lawyer?
So when I hired Courtney, I hired her by doing a posting at her law school. And I had just a few different attorneys interview with me and
All right, hang on. The posting to the law school. So my son's about to go to law school, and he was doing the typical UGA student. Dad, I'm only going to the top 50. I'm like, Austin, you realize I only went to the bottom 50 schools. I mean, of course, the best engineering schools ever. I said, so let's slow our roll here, big guy. I mean, he's a really smart kid. Where did you post? Did you go Harvard, Yale?
She went to Mercer. I posted at Mercer. I posted at Mercer because I'm not downtown Atlanta. Okay. I'm a suburban lawyer in a smaller town. I mean, Alpharetta's big now, but it's suburban. And I think that there's a different person who's looking to do the downtown law firm feel or vibe than someone who wants to work in Alpharetta. And so I felt like the folks at Mercer, being in Macon and coming from all over the state, that they were probably, I'd have a better chance of finding someone who would be okay in the suburban setting.
Okay, yeah, she's still smarter than me.
Man.
I mean, not that that was ever in question after the
I
beginning.
know, but it's just one thing after another. It's
I know.
just good thinking.
Think about that for a minute, right? Know where you are and know what your candidate will look like and what that looks like. I mean, that's huge because in the law world, obviously it's way more niche. We just figured out it's more niche than that. But if you want to go downtown, her downtown vibe thing, I love that she said it like that.
Yeah, because
Let
then
me tell
those
you what
people
that
would
is.
use you as a stepping stone to get to that.
Correct.
Yeah, and you're going to come in and they're going to wonder why they weren't working 100 hours a week, and they wonder why you didn't tell them how bad they were and why you didn't grind them into the ground, because that's what those guys are doing. That's the only thing that I can at least explain to my son before he does this is that there's a whole world and you're going to have to go figure it out. And I don't know the answer.
No,
because I didn't
TV's
do
made
it.
that sort of sexy.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
I love Suits.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Suits.
You can't. You're the only lawyer ever who said that.
Oh my God, I binge watched it one summer
No,
by
you did
myself,
not.
the whole entire thing.
Oh my God, you did not. Oh my God.
Yeah, I have a really busy social life now.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
How realistic was it?
Oh, well, it's not like my firm.
Well, it's not even realistic at all because I have two other friends who do the high powered law stuff. We haven't talked about, and they were like, "Dude, you know that nobody can do M&A and do these." I'm like, "Yo, all right, yeah, I get that," but I said, "But it's still so cool." He pulls it off, and he comes in there.
He
and
knows
then
everything.
everything about every aspect of the law. I'm like, "Dude," I said, "as a non-lawyer," I said, "I'm so digging." He goes, "Dude, you're such a," I can't say what he said, but let's just say it started with W and ended with E and right might have right with
My impression of Suits is, you son of a bitch. Because they were always backstabbing.
no, and my thing is, I don't give a goddamn what you think. I'm like, I use that line all the time. I said I should have been a lawyer, although I hate law and I can't. But and here
And you
goes
don't
what I
have
said.
a brain. Remember that?
And I don't have a ring.
Brain.
Brain? Oh, brain. I don't have
That
that either.
Remember? We already established that earlier on.
I know.
I didn't have a
No
brain.
way. I can't do that.
Uh-uh.
So, oh my God.
You have a computer,
How about
no
that?
brain.
All right, guys, this is the unicorn. We have found her.
Mhm.
She not only knows how to do business,
She's in
but
the
she knows
wild.
how to do law. And she binge watched Suits and liked it as a lawyer. And you're like, what? Because I did. We binge watched Suits the whole time. And I would call Troy, my pocket judge up in North Carolina. I'm like, dude, did you know this one? He goes, Chris, you know you can't do that. I'm like, I know, but it's so cool.
It's TV.
It was the best. It would be during the day, and then at night he'd be pulling off this, and the next thing, oh my God, it's the best ever. I'm now I'm gonna go back and binge watch Suits after Band of Brothers. All right, so back to Lisa, shall we? All right,
It's your
so
show.
all right, Lisa, you're at your stage. You've scaled. You gotten to this point now, and you're looking at the other side where she could take over your firm. The associate brought in. What do you want to do? I mean, what are your goals now for the next 5, 10, 20? Because you're very young.
Okay, so I'm not that young.
Okay.
I'm not even young. But so I'd say over the next 5 years, I don't know that I even want to grow, but I need to grow. I need to have 2 other attorneys.
For the listener, the look on Chris's face is priceless.
She goes, I don't even know how to. I'm like, that was like saying there is no God. What?
With 3 years of podcasting down the tubes, we don't need to scale.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? And podcasts. You know what? We're probably not even going to air this thing. If you guys are listening to this thing, by the grace of God, you got to listen to this one because and by the grace of God, you take some of these freaking lessons, because even if you just listen to her, you'll grow.
What is
She
the
doesn't wanna grow.
lesson? What's the lesson though?
I don't know.
If you have
Be
no-
intuitive,
this
be
is it.
smart like Lisa. Don't be dumb like Chris.
What?
If you are good to your clients and your customers, right? You'll get more, and then you'll have to grow. I feel like I have to grow.
Isn't that what we all try to do?
A burden of being so good at everything. Lisa says, I have to grow because they all keep coming to me. I have to grow. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, that's what I keep saying. Oh my God, I have to keep growing. Or, holy shit, where the hell is everybody? That's my line.
So maybe she needs to explain what being good to your customers looks like.
All right. Well,
What do you do different than an other attorney?
Okay. I don't act smarter than my clients.
Oh, we don't talk down to them.
I do not.
Chris, write that down.
I mean, I guess it's the same thing happens.
I mean,
Like if
but-
I've got
but
someone
in the house, though, I am. That's the problem. All right.
Just quit wielding your brain like a club and you might get someplace. So,
but I do know more about.
but this is an interesting thing that you say, because I kind of want my lawyer to be really smart. And how do I know you're really smart if you're playing that down?
well, because you'll know, because I'll produce the results that you need. You're just gonna have to go with it one time and see if it works out for you, and then you'll trust me. That's just how I feel. Like I don't use big words. I don't try and overcomplicate a deal. I'll tell people, if you want me to review your contract, or you want me to review your lease, or do this transaction for you, I am not going to send you something back with a million red lines.
Oh,
I'm not going to correct.
There's
and
one answer right there.
I'm not going to.
Commercial real estate agent says.
Yeah, because we hate it when we use the standard GAR form more often than not, Georgia Association of Realtors. And anytime somebody goes, "Oh, I want my realtor to look at it," it's like, "Oh God, it's going to come back just bleeding, dripping red."
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I have a huge transaction where I'm representing the seller, and we kind of wanted something easy, an easy contract, right? So I could either draft something, or the purchaser's attorney could draft something. But what I suggested at the end of the day was, I said, just go with the GAR form,
Hmm.
and let's see if we could just use it. It works.
It works.
It's there are some things that aren't added to the GAR form that another attorney might add to a GAR form, but at the end of the day, they're not necessary. They're not, and it works. The GAR
Right.
form works for a reason.
But this is a great example of you using your intuition. How do you train Courtney, your associate, to have that same intuition?
Through osmosis.
Nice.
She rubs her arm too.
I'm going to go work there for a day.
I let her actually, like, sometimes I'm like, hey, come in my office. I'm making a phone call. I just want her to hear how I talk to the people on the other end, work through a situation.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you're not going to learn it all in one day. I've been doing this over 30 years. So it takes time. You don't know that everyone's going to ask you to close something between Christmas and New Year's, right? And other attorneys are going to say, no, I'm giving away my secret,
Go.
but no, I can't close this because we take off between Christmas and New Year's or whatever. And I say, I can do it, because I know that even if I have a small staff, 9 times out of 10, someone else they're not going to get it to the finish line for me. You know what I mean? Like, someone else is going to fumble or say, we're going to do it after this date.
Oh, so you're waiting for the bank to fall on their face.
Someone.
And you're like, "Oh, I was there for you."
Yeah. So we'll do it first week of January.
A genius.
Oh my God, she is so good.
She is really good.
Oh,
But I know,
you know
because
what?
it
She's
happens-
playing
it
chess,
happens every
and I'm eating my
December.
checkers, my friend. That's the problem. I'm not even playing checkers. I'm just chewing on them.
I mean, we'll be ready if everyone else is ready, but a lot of times it's just something happens at the end of the year and they can't get it done.
Something happens.
Oh my gosh, Lisa, I could keep going on and on and on just because I want to learn and I want to be better. But I think I need osmosis. But we can't do it for
I
everything.
think we need to call your therapist again.
I know. Well, yeah. She's on vacation. She can't fit me in between the end of
That's
the year.
funny. I called her and she just picked up the phone.
I know. She said something about her rates changing. I didn't know what that
Yeah.
meant. So Lisa, this has been awesome. Actually, we've been talking about a lot of stuff, and I would have to say, as terms as lawyers go, actually, in terms of just people, she's fun and interesting and really smart.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, smart, but doesn't flaunt it.
She didn't.
And I can see, I
said
can
it.
see customers can go, you know what? This is an attorney that actually speaks a normal language that I can understand.
Yeah, if you're in Alpharetta, you're in the actually you want to work just in Alpharetta, right? You want to work in North
State of
Fulton
Georgia,
area?
right?
Oh no, I close anything in the state of Georgia.
Ooh, the whole state of Georgia?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right. You got to call Lisa Shippel. Do it. Make it happen. If you guys want to get some work done, she'll work with small business owners.
Of course.
She loves you. All right. And if you want to get lucky and understand how to make things happen and get bigger, maybe you call Lisa Shippel. I'm coming up with taglines. I'm trying to work out Lisa Shippel taglines, but she doesn't even need to advertise, bro,
No,
because
she doesn't want to grow.
she just want to grow. That actually just, I mean, I almost.
Did I
fell out of
ruin your show?
my,
That's
no.
100%.
Oh my God. I just,
100%.
hey, I don't want to grow. I have to grow. Oh, is that what happens?
Mhm. I'm just nice to people and then they
Oh my,
give me money.
oh my God. So, guys, I'm going to go with Germinate on that one. But again, we can't have Lisa leave without asking our famous 4 questions. Number
Mhm.
1, give us, actually, you haven't written a book yet.
I did.
Oh my God. We're going to have a book club. Oh, did you write a book, Alan?
No, I haven't, but I would rather hear how Lisa wrote her book.
All right, Lisa, what's your book?
That's a whole other show.
I bet it was like,
All
I
right.
just wrote a book.
So, what's a book you would refer to everybody on the podcast?
Well, I just read last year, Younger Next Year. It's a health book. They have a male and a female version of the book. And it just helps you, think about how to stay healthy as you get older so that you don't have as many medical problems later in life.
So, bourbon every night,
Mm-hmm.
wine,
Check.
hamburger,
Check. Steak.
steak,
Check.
pressed cider, drink apple cider that's been fermented. Check.
Check.
So we're on track. I think
Good
we read
job.
that book. All right, great. All right, that's number 1. Give us the favorite feature of your home.
Okay, I told you you would laugh. It is my heated bidet toilet seat.
I will not laugh, but I will not use it. Thank you. We put them in, and people say bidet. Once you use it, you'll never. I'm like, dude.
Once you have the heated toilet seat, you just want to sit on a
She's
heated
been to
toilet
Japan.
seat.
Does it sing songs? to
Maybe
you?
that's
No.
where all our good ideas come from.
It might be, but I'm telling you, actually, I just sold a client on a heated floor. I'm going to tell you, I'm in the South, and I have a heated floor in my bathroom. And this morning, I spent 5 minutes in there going, "Oh, I just love my heated floor because it's cool." But a heated bidet, I just not sure I can go there. But I like that. You're right. I would laugh. And you got me. That one. All right. So we need a DIY nightmare story. I know you told me you didn't have one, but we'll skip that one and we're going to go to customer service, shall we?
Let's.
Because we are customer service
Freaks.
Oh my God, let's go do it.
What about it?
Lady. So she clearly doesn't know anything
Yeah.
about customer.
What
Everybody
is a
loves
pet
her.
peeve of yours when you're the customer regarding customer service?
When someone doesn't call me back or respond to my email and I have to ask them, and I'm not the kind of person that just will pepper you all day. But if you don't respond to me in 24 hours,
It's the
48
ghosting
hours,
thing, and it's happening,
Yeah.
and it's not the kids. It's a grown-ass adults.
It's
who's-
grown ass adults.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
It drives
What-
me freaking nuts.
Where
In
the
real
hell did
estate,
that
you
happen?
only make money if you freaking answer your phone or call back, and people still don't call back. I don't care if your building's already sold. At least give me the courtesy and let me know.
Brother, I would tell you every time people say that, I'm going to challenge them. I bet you don't get as many calls, texts, or emails that I get every day. Because I swear to God, my number is so flipping high right now in terms of the spam calls and other stuff going on. I know I can get back. It's a lack of focus. And that's the hard part because I can't figure out how to get these things out of the
I
way.
think it's bad parenting.
You know what? Can we bring back spanking?
I think so. Corporal punishment and then ghosting. Hand in hand.
You know, you ghost me and you're over 50, I'm spanking your ass.
I think they deserve to be spanked.
I think so too. I mean, damn. I just
Bring back caning.
Whoa. I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. Corporal
did?
punishment.
No, I just said a little spanking.
No, I'm public flogging.
Yeah, my mother
Answer
was,
your phone.
my mother was all 5
Oh,
foot 2.
can I say another thing that bothers me?
Yeah.
Please.
Don't call me, text me, and email me all within
Yes.
10 seconds.
The full court press.
I respond right away. So when someone's like getting me, it all goes to my one phone.
Right. I may be in a meeting. I may be at the doctor. Give me a
Yes.
minute.
All right, let's talk about that for a minute because, gosh, we got to go, but we got to keep talking. Because, all right, this one, I got a friend of mine who sends me a text, then a text, then a text, and he puts all of it together and he calls that drip texting. He goes, "That's how I get your attention." I'm like, you realize I'm in front of a client a lot of times when you're doing that, and it's just blowing my phone up.
Yeah, you get my attention in the fact that I'm really annoyed at you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said that too. He goes, "Well, you called me back, didn't you?" I'm like, Don't let me affirm this because this is not good. Don't do that to me."
Maybe you go for every extra text. I'm going to wait another half hour to call you back.
I do. That's true though. How about the people who they're just so impatient? They think if I'm the biggest pain in the ass, I'm the squeaky wheel.
Right.
You're gonna grease me. No, bro, I ain't greasing
I'm
shit.
going to fire you.
Yeah, I'm gonna absolutely get ready to. She is Trump. What? You can't say that.
She's a nice Trump.
You know what? I'll take that one.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Last thing. I can't even remember what it was, but it's got to be good.
No, we skipped one. That's why we're done.
Yeah, the DIY one.
Oh, the DIY one.
Hmm. You could tell a story about how you shot yourself with a hammer or something.
Or stepped on a nail.
Yeah.
Right through my foot as I tried to put up a 6-foot header by myself. Yeah, I've done that too. I mean, I got so many DIY nightmare stories. I did not light the house on fire, absolutely, and you can't prove it, Mary Williams. I did not put the kitchen did not go on fire because of me. That was not a client. I'm kidding, but it's I got so many great DIY nightmare stories because that's how I teach my guys. Every time you do something stupid, you got to learn from it. Don't do it again.
Yeah, and if they laugh at you, it's kind of fun. Team building thing.
Yeah, they love it. All right, guys, if you didn't learn something, that's on you because I think this podcast is killing it. And you know what? I'm not the only one. The people have spoken. We're in the top 5%, Alan. We are rocking and rolling. We're making it happen. People are listening. And guess what? Next year in 2025, if you're starting to listen to this thing, we're going to be on another podcast platform. We're going to be part of a network. You guys are going to be able to hear us in other areas. And you got to go check this out. Spread the word to your friends. If you didn't do that, then I hate you. All right, don't do that. I didn't hate you. You learned something from Lisa Shippel. Go check her out, Lisa Shippel Law in Alpharetta or all of Georgia. You want to figure out how to do business easy? You can do it. Let's get out of here. We got to go.
Cheers, everybody.